Hello and welcome back to Sioux Online. Today we have the last interview in our series of interviews from Prince Township. Today we have Ken Lamming, the present Reeve. Hello, Ken. Before we start into the election issues, people outside of Prince, every time they hear a press release or a news item coming out of Prince, it seems like there's a soap opera out there. There's infighting. Zacato's fighting with you. You're fighting with Matteo when he was there, and things like that. Why can't your council be cohesive enough and work towards a common goal? Why is there always this infighting?
Well, if you look at the last 4 years, this council actually has got along. You said me and Zaccato, well, we don't. It's not fighting. We're discussing, and like normal council says, a couple of the old councillors maybe they hold a grudge, but we've come a long ways in the last 4 years. We had to redo our finances. We had to look at our staffing. Actually, the township's in real good shape.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing that was mentioned, that you mentioned in the candidates meeting about it coming along a great distance since this council started working together. One thing that doesn't and shouldn't really have any bearing on Prince Township is the Point Estate project. From all the reports I've read, and I've read a few, the only people that really want that project to go through are Avery, for obvious reasons, Ozzie Grandinetti, because he's going to be able to get some work on that project, and yourself. Now, why would you, seeing that it doesn't concern Prince Township at all, why would you be so much for it?
Well, if you looked at the tax base, first of all, it's something new to Sault Ste. Marie. It's going to create a lot of interest throughout Ontario or even Canada, where it's something different, where you have all these lots on a canal. When they did all the tests, I'm not an expert at it, but when they did all the tests came back favorable for all of it, and that was thousands and thousands of dollar tests. No, it does not favor Prince Township, but like I said, I'm not an expert, and I can't really talk about it because when Point Estate took us to court, the Conservation Authority, they had some change of mind. Either that they realized they were wrong, and we had to sign a document saying we can't talk about it. So I really can't talk about it anymore.
It's at the OMB right now,
It's
anyway.
going to the OMB,
and we should get an answer by the 18th of November. Apparently, that's what was stated. You've been around politics for quite a while now. For those that don't know you that well, could you tell them something a little bit about yourself?
Okay, as you know, I started in 1979 on council, but I've been volunteering from the day right before that I started to volunteer. So most of the time I've been a volunteer and a councillor. We had to put functions on for the township because I have two children. I have a boy and a girl, and a son-in-law and a great granddaughter I love dearly. So, and I think Prince Township is like a family. So we put on all these functions for Prince Township, so that they'd have something to do. Like we build a rink for them. I maintain it all winter. I clean it. I water it. We put on car shows in the past. We're going to put car show on again next spring. It's just I work hard on the township. If it takes going out with the road superintendent to dig a ditch by shovel or whatever it takes, I'm there for the township.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what drives you to volunteer so much of your time?
That's my nature. If I'm not busy, I'm not happy. I just, like, my mother was born and raised in Prince. My grandfather, my family and my great uncles, they started Prince Township with all the other families out there. It's a great township. I'm a Cora boy, born Cora, raised in Sylvan Valley. So I know what it's like to live in the country. It's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah. Okay, the Prince Lake issue is all settled, said and done now. At the candidates meeting, you stated because council has good management now, you were able to enter into an out-of-court settlement and save the township $200,000 in legal fees. Why did it take so long? And if there was good management used, don't you think that it would have surfaced long before it did?
Well, I tried. I myself cannot figure you should not tell anybody where they should live. The previous council before this one didn't want to even look at it. They just wanted them under there. This new council, the 2 new members we got, decided the best way to do it is let's save township money. We always spend probably about $500,000 on lawyers' fees. And it's going to cost maybe $200,000 to $300,000 if we continue to go to court. So this new council and myself, we decided that's it. Let's see if we can settle it. And it came out as a good settlement. I'm hoping that it didn't please everybody, but it saved the township thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's what a councillor should be looking at, is saving money for the township.
So are you gonna be supplying winter road service for these people?
No, it's a summer road. My goal is someday maybe make it up to MTO standards, tire and ship it, but for the years to come, I don't know how long it's gonna take, is they maintain in the winter, we maintain in the summer.
Your travel costs were a contentious issue. What makes you think that upper government officials, like you said at the candidates meeting, would even remember a tiny bird like yours? And have you received any grants because of all these trips?
Well, let's look at it. The previous council never got any grants. You know, they didn't believe in going away. This council, in their wisdom, decided we should get out there and on. If you don't go out and talk to the MPPs, the cabinet ministers, or the people that do hand you the grants, like grant money is our money, but it's in a big pile of money, and if we don't get it, somebody else is going to get it. So my goal was to try to put Prince Township's name out there. And I think I'm a likable person, you know, and so I get to talk to them, I ask questions, and I give them my business cards, I explain where Prince is. If you don't tell where Prince is, so when the government grant comes up, I'm hoping they look at it and say, oh yeah, I remember him, and if you don't remember him, they kind of throw it off. Maybe that's not the way it is, but it's a good idea to get your name out there. And if it costs $6,000 or $7,000 a year, say travel expenses, motel rooms, and conferences, some of them I paid myself, because council said it wasn't worth it. So I thought it was so important to the township, I paid them costs out of my own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the government grant, the first year in office, we got $67,000 in grants for 2 playground equipment. And because of Archibald Construction offering the equipment for nothing, and a few good volunteers, we leveled the sand and everything, we got the playground equipment for nothing.
Well, when you go on these trips, do you have some proposals in hand when you go there, or are you just going there to make your presence felt?
No, some you get to actually make appointments with cabinet ministers and their group. So you have your questions. I ask council what they would like to me to ask them, what the township needs, and I'm prepared. When I go there, I have my questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to talk back to the grants. We also went partners with the city of Sault Ste. Marie. We got almost 90% of $4 million worth of grant for the bridges. We got grant monies for roads. We got grant money to upgrade our electrical system and energy efficient for our lighting. We got work in the township on the offices. We've got grant money, lots of grant money in the last 4 years.
Severance. And from all the reports I've read, it's one of the biggest or one of the most contentious issues out there. Where do you stand on this issue? Do you think that the landowners with a lot of acreage and a lot of frontage should be able to sever their land for resale? And what do you think the reasonable frontage should be?
Okay, years ago when I started, it used to be 300 feet, 3 acres, or a little over 3 acres. Throughout the years, we decided, well, maybe we talked to Department of Health, you know, is the water good out there? And we decided to go to 150-foot frontage to 1.5 acres, which is a nice big piece of property. It's good for the septic tank system. It's good for the residents of Prince, because what we're doing right now is filling in the roads we already have, which doesn't cost the township any money. And if you don't have a growth, like now we're getting 10 to 11 houses a year. If you don't have a growth in the township, then your taxes go up, because we don't have no commercial base or nothing. So we rely on growth of the township, and it's great.
Yeah, well, this is one way of raising revenue. One of the best ways to raise revenue. The more people you get out there, the better it is for that, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And also on these big chunks of property, usually it's maybe a father that's getting up in age and wants a piece of property for their kids. They got lots of property. Why not let them severance a little piece of property for their children?
Yeah. Well, what do you say should be the minimum amount of frontage? What do you think?
Well, 150 is a good minimum standard. In some places in the township where there's already a small lot, say 100-foot lot frontage, but it's kind of goes along with what's there, and as long as they have enough property, as long as the Department of Health says it's okay, then it's okay. But that's only in certain areas, but 150-foot frontage is lots.
How do you intend on luring internet and cell phone companies out to Prince with their latest technology?
Well, it's been a battle. I've phoned everybody I can possibly phone. I even got a hold of the president of Bell Canada, and he said they won't. A year ago they won't be doing any major work in Prince for 3 years. I talked to Shaw. I talked to whoever would listen to me. I went over. I had meetings with the cabinet minister of this in Toronto, talking why can't we get high speed. I just found out the other day that somebody in Ironside, they're getting high speed now from Bell Mobility. Yeah, so if they can get it, it's quite a few homes are getting it down there. So now I have to phone them on Monday, and then once I find out more information, I'm going to contact the people that don't have it and say, this is a possibility.
I've also heard that the mountain ranges out there that you have might be a problem for that. Well, how about that?
The mountain range is a problem. We have a company now that's putting these little towers up here and there, and he's been working with Prince. Carmen's been really good. He's been working with Prince, and we're trying to get. It's hard. We're trying to get high speed for every. We finally got cell service. If you have a Bell phone down in Grocap, so they have cell service now. Some people here and there going up towards Prince, they can get cell service. So I'm gonna. Right now, I found out that Shaw Cable won't come out to Prince because Bell and PUC wants them to hire an engineer firm to do $1,000 a post. I'm gonna talk to the government now. I'm gonna say what the heck? I'm gonna say what the heck? But oh well. What's going on here? Why can't we find a way to overcome this? There's got to be solutions.
Well, you guys have a lot of forest area out there. Why don't you supply the posts?
Yeah, tree to tree. Most of the posts out in Prince Township are all brand new, so I don't know what the big deal is.
Mm-hmm. Like I said before, you've devoted a lot of your time to Prince. What would you like to say to the residents of the township?
Well, what I would like to say is I've been dedicating my life in Prince since 1979 or before. I've lived out there for a long time. Since 1977, I built my house out there. When you call me, I always answer all the calls. I go to your house, you come to my house. You should have somebody that's going to live out in Prince representing you. It's a nice community. We're going forward. I want it to keep going forward. Thank you.